Welcome to the podcast, Stop Crying Poser, greatest podcast known to man as voted by everyone who lives in the great state, country, city of Somalia. Shout out to Day Day, the Real Griff, Kickflip Nose Blunt, iBook Boy, Claire Monk, Support the Farts, R Vig, and Generation L. We are starting on time today. What time is it? Well, we do this podcast every single Friday right around 3:30 p.m. Pacific time right here on twitch.tv/Ninja Lifestyle. It has been a very eventful week. Very windy here in Las Vegas, but for once, we got some good weather. The sun came out shining on me. It's been a high of 50 degrees for the past, couple of months. And for a lot of you guys, that's not that bad. But for me, that is pretty cold. And then at night, it gets down to 30. This week, we had highs of 70, and it was absolutely beautiful. A little bit windy today, but no big deal. A lot of things to follow up from last week's podcast. I left you guys with some cliffhangers, so we'll get to that in a little bit. First topic of the day was what happened to me yesterday. Well, I have a friend in town by the name of Scary Cheese, and he had said, I've been to Fremont Street. I already know what's over there. No need to go check that out because I like to play tour guide. I said, what fun things do you want to do? We can go eat some fancy food, go do some fun tourist activity, go to Fremont Street, which is kind of my, it's my go-to as far as, someone's visiting the city. I can go down there, have fun, and do it for cheaply, I guess. I'm a pretty frugal guy, or at least I know how to be when I need to be. But he's already been to Fremont, so I said, you know what, let's check out Arts District. Arts District is kind of like what it would be in a small town downtown. It's a lot of small little shops everywhere, a couple of restaurants, a lot of vintage clothing and art stores and tall skinny guys with beards and glasses and suspenders. Just a lot of people riding bicycles where the wheels are way too awkwardly big. We did a topic about this last week where none of those buildings make any money, but they're all owned by the wives of people that are very rich. And just so their wives shut the fuck up, they buy their wife a nice boutique in the middle of downtown where they actually only make, $100 a day, even though the rent there is $60,000 a month just to stay in business. A place like that. No cigarettes allowed anywhere, no gambling. And I just found out the other day, no dog allowed unless you're willing to lie about your dog being a service animal. I have no reason to lie. I know that's a scam. A lot of people do is they take their non-service animal into a building and they go, hey, is this a service animal? And they go, well, you're not allowed to ask me for that. You're not allowed to ask me. And they say, well, do you need the service animal? Is there any paperwork? Does your dog even know any commands? And they go, well, you're not supposed, legally, you can't ask me that. I can bring my dog wherever I want. There's some type of HIPAA law or something that these guys try to manipulate all the time. And of course, people that are going to lie about that are also the type of people that will not ever clean up their own dog's shit. And also people like that probably don't spend much time taking care of their dogs anyways. You guys have probably seen the memes. Anyways, I brought my dog down there today expecting a lot of places to be dog friendly. Went to a couple of places that I've seen dogs in before, but because my hair is not purple and I don't have fucking goofy triangular shaped glasses and a fucking moped, I guess I'm not allowed to bring my dog anywhere because he's a pit bull. But if it was a skinny, weird fucking Great Dane and I had a Cruella de Vil cigarette, they'd probably allow me anywhere. Okay, I've made enough jokes. But we wandered around. It started getting cold. I was with Fem and Scary Cheese, and we walked by this bar that had no windows. I mean, that's not uncommon. Most bars here don't have windows. Maybe half of them do, half of them don't. But no windows, and it didn't really even... You couldn't really even tell it was a bar, which is how these Arts District bars go. It's just a room, nothing on the door, no lettering, no, it doesn't say bar. It'll just say like Shifty's Hideaway. And you'd be like, what the fuck is Shifty's Hideaway? This could be a crack den. This could be a meth sale. This could be a dispensary. This could be a liquor store. I have no fucking idea what this is. There's no windows. There's no pictures anywhere. You have no idea what this place is. So anyways, outside this place, it had a pirate flag. And it had 2 crossbones. And then instead of a skull, they have skull and crossbones. Instead of that, it had a dog's paw. So I looked at it and I was like, oh, okay, they probably sell used clothing or something. And I continued walking. But Fem was like, I just want to see what it is. I just want to see what they got in there. Opens up the door, goes in, it's pitch black. It's the most dimly lit bar ever. I went in, I couldn't see anything. So your eyes have to adjust. There's no lighting above you. Everything's lit by like dim candlelight. You look around, it's all these old ass pictures, like portraits drawn in like oil paintings. It looks like some shit. You've seen the old pictures of like George Washington where he has like curly white hair. It's like hand painted. It's a bunch of hand painted pirates, but instead of the pirates being humans, they're all dogs. And then you look at the menu makes no fucking sense. Instead of it being by like, instead of the menu being like, okay, these are our beer selections, these are our wine selections, these are our vodka selections, it goes in order of what's the most alcoholic, not telling you what's in each drink. So at that point, I realized we're really in like a hipster establishment. And anyway, she goes in there, I come in, I have my dog with me, and I'm just expecting them to be like, hey, I know it's windy out there, no dogs allowed. He looks at me, he's like, yeah, this is a pirate bar for dogs. I was like, what the fuck does that mean? He says, look at all these pictures. Right here we have Steve. Right here we have Timothy. Right here we have Lord Samuel of the Pirate Brigade. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Like, bro, you don't have to do this weird accent, okay? I just came in off the street. I don't know what this fucking place is. I was like, is my dog allowed in here? And he's like, yeah. Dogs are always allowed in here. The owner loves dogs. You can always have a dog in here. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. Looked at the menu. Every drink is $15. Thankfully, Fem was like, hey, I chose this place. I'll buy you guys the first round. Tab was $45. What a sucker. The drink was really cool. I got some vodka drink with foam on the top of it, and then a slice of pineapple, and then a string with another like pineapple artwork with a blackberry and then a pirate flag coming out of it. And then she had all the other drinks. Cheese in her got some other drink with foam coming out of it with a giant sprig like of multi-layered mint. It looked like an art project, which was pretty. Listen, I'm making fun of it, but it was actually pretty cool. So we hung out there for a little bit, kind of an upscale bar. And then I ran into one of my friends' ex-girlfriends in there. I was like, oh, shit, you're here. And she's like, oh, shit, you're here. And I was like, okay, well, that's going to be our cue to leave anyways. I was kind of enjoying this place, but no big deal. They were also nice enough to bring my dog a bowl of water. So that was really nice. He got to drink some water, and he was very well behaved. And he was the belle of the ball for the entire trip. Everywhere we went, people are like, oh, your dog is so well kept. Oh, his coat is so nice. He's such a good looking dog. And like I said, my friend Cheese is visiting from out of town. He's rocking the mullet. I don't know if he's always rocked the mullet. I guess I never looked at his hair that closely, but he's rocking a full on mullet. And I was like, hey, is Koopa going to get more compliments, or are you going to get more compliments with the mullet? Because it's not a common hairstyle out here. It's one of those things where if you see a guy with that at the bar, you're going to say, hey, nice hair. It's just one of those weird things. I don't know if that applies all over the country, but specifically here, if anyone around you has a mullet, you end up going, hey, like, it's not quite sarcastically, but it's also not super genuine, where you go, hey, nice hair. And they go, oh, thanks, man. And then you go on with your life. Anyways, we left the pirate bar, cruised over, funny enough, to another pirate bar. I didn't think about it like that yet. We went from that pirate bar, the pirate dog bar, to one called Davy Jones' Locker, another pirate bar where they would not allow my dog in. And I was like, well, I've seen dogs in here before. And the guy's like, yeah, we recently changed we recently changed the rules. So I said, well, you guys have a back patio. I can just go around the building and be in the back patio. There's no roof. You know, it's a little bit of coverage from the wind. And they were like, nope, not even back patio. I was like, okay, well, that's pretty annoying. Then we got kind of cold. And then ended up taking Koopa to my buddy's burger restaurant. Got the hamburger. They recently started giving out like Fresno chilies on top of the burgers. So good, dude. So had some $14 hamburger. It was delicious. They also served tater tots. Those were great. My buddy the guy that runs the restaurant happened to be there that day. So I was like, hey, nice to see you. Tapped in with him a little bit. Said, come watch UFC or jump on a skateboard or something. So it's nice to catch up with people. And that was how the day went yesterday. And I did all of that while super hungover. And I'm proud of myself. You know, my body's really stiff today. I've kind of been drinking, kind of. On Wednesday, I went ham. Drank a lot. Thursday, drank a little bit. And now today, my body's fucking stiff, dude. I got out of bed and I sneezed. I felt my spine crack all the way up and down it because of a sneeze. And then I feel like now I'm at that age where I need to grab onto something when I sneeze. I can't sneeze standing up straight early in the morning. I either need to take a knee, like put one knee on the ground, or I need to grab something with my hands. I did it on the fridge today. I hobbled over to the fridge. I was like, this is going to be a big one. I'm coming to join you, Elizabeth. This is going to be a big one. Fucking sneeze. My dog's used to it. He doesn't even care. He's like, well, Dad's going to die today. What the hell? So, why was I talking about sneezing so much? Oh, yeah, because I was drinking all weekend and my body's pretty stiff today. So, kind of rough. Another thing happened this week, and let me set up the story like this. We watched the Jamie Foy video. It's the breakdown of him doing the handrail on a skateboard where he grinds down the rail, across the rail, and then up the rail. Got the cover of Thrasher magazine. The photo is absolutely insane. The trick is insane. He made it look easy. That's probably related to why he got Skater of the Year. He did win it this year, right? Good. If he did, then good. So anyways, we were watching the breakdown, and he found that spot because somebody in Germany uploaded a video of them on soap shoes. If you're not familiar with soap shoes, it's shoes where the middle of the shoe can grind. So some guy, probably a nerd, ran up on his feet, jumped on this rail, and like slid across the rail. Imagine rollerblades like without wheels. Slid across the rail and then did a little cartwheel. One of the lamest things I've ever seen. Jamie Foy saw that. Somebody DM'd the guy, said, hey, where's this rail? He goes, oh, it's in Germany. It's in Germany. Ich lieg Pinner, Titten Danke, Germany. And they were like, oh, cool. Can you send us the coordinates? I think we're going to take a trip from America all the way to Germany. We're going to bring like 5 skaters and 3 filmers to film the coolest trick done all year. So anyways, they do that. And I watched the video. Jamie Foy's the man. The video was really well done. And I looked up like soap shoes. Are those popular? I looked them up. They're called grind shoes. So I was looking up grind shoes. I was like, oh, these are interesting. I didn't know that this was a thing that existed anymore. Even though somewhere on YouTube, there's like a Vice documentary on some like juggalo dude in Las Vegas who's a pro soap rider who also, I think he pretends he's like a pickup artist, which means he pulls a lot of chicks and makes them want to fuck him or date him or something. It's one big funny fantasy because no one who wears soap shoes has ever even seen a pussy in real life. And if you're wearing soap shoes and you look at a pussy online, the pussy dries up and it actually gets deleted. So that's how close and how ironic the whole story is. Anyways, as I was looking at the soap shoes, heelies popped up. Those shoes with the wheel in the back of them. So it's shoes where your heel is would be a wheel. So you can do wheelies with your shoe. Wheelies, heelies, on your heel wheelies. I don't know. So they were popular, fucking 25 years ago, 30 years ago. Heelies were kind of a cool thing. They were a trending thing for kids to wear at school. Turns out they're still around and they don't make very many adult sizes. But as I'm looking at these heelies, I'm like, okay, this is interesting, whatever. Someone in my chat room, Drumbocus, donates the exact amount of money it would be to buy that pair of heelies that was on the screen. And the number on the screen was $69. I had no choice. It was very generous. Like, Twitch in general, if you're just fucking around, joking, having fun, and somebody's like, hey, you just made a joke about buying heelies, I'm gonna make it a reality. It's, first off, it's flattering that anyone thinks that I'm that entertaining to send, you know, that much money for like a gag, a gift. Long story short, I now have heelies, and I'm thinking of ideas to incorporate them into skateboarding. Hopefully next week I can make a skateboarding heelie collab video. I mean, currently I'm thinking of a manual pad. I'm going to jump from the skateboard, jump into like a manual pad, and then heelie down, and then jump onto the next board. That's kind of the idea, but really, I really appreciate it. It makes me feel like I'm truly being entertaining for people to put what I would call a significant amount of money, like send a significant amount of money to someone just as like a prank, like so they can do funny pranks. So it's very much appreciated. Drumbocus, that was very nice of you. And now everyone can enjoy that because I'm going to do some type of video with it, maybe a sponsor tape. And also the part 2 of the gag was, I was like, Drumbocus, I got to shout you out somehow. And someone in the chat, I think it was Simp, came up with the idea. They were like, you should pretend you're actually sponsored, but just say that Drumbocus is your sales rep. Like that's the guy, that's like your team manager. And people that don't know about heelies, they would have no idea. I could probably say it with enough confidence that someone out there would believe that I'm honestly sponsored by heelies and that my team manager's name is Drumbocus. That is believable. If I can, depending on how I say it, I'm going to say it straight up. I'm going to make a little mini video about me being sponsored, and no one's going to know if I'm lying or not. You know, I know that I'm the greatest liar ever because I make these hilarious jokes on Instagram about skateboarders, literally about skateboarders being bad at skateboarding, and now I'm getting death threats. So let's talk a little bit about that. I have 2 more topics that kind of go together with that. I wanted to give you guys a follow-up about my dog going to the vet last week. I'm not going to retell that story. Anyways, my dog had some issues with his balance, and I took him to the vet. I feel like the vet very purposely tried to rip me off. And what ended up happening was they tried to charge me $500 and give my dog multiple medicines, a ton of different medicines, 2 separate antibiotics, as well as a flush, as well as a seizure med, as well as multiple tests. And instead of me paying the whole $500 and giving him 12 different medicines, I researched each medicine and I said, hey, this one looks like it's the most effective. I would like you to prescribe only one medicine. And then they said, oh, no. Well, first they said, oh, that's no problem. Then once it came time to actually write and sign the prescription, they said, oh, we're not gonna prescribe that medicine unless we do more testing. So then I'm like, oh, why suddenly testing is involved? We didn't have testing before, but now that I didn't mention, I wasn't going to buy the prescription off them. I was going to buy it off of Chewy.com, a reputable dog brand that sells dog food and toys, everything dog related. So I ended up saving $15 on Chewy, and then they decided now they don't want to give me that medicine because I found it cheaper. Complete fucking scam. What ended up happening though is my buddy Nick, his dog had a similar issue. I borrowed some leftover antibiotic cream from him, and my dog is already feeling better. So things are looking better. He's not all the way better, but it's just another situation where if the vet truly wanted to help my dog feel better within 5 days, they could have done that. They could have done it, and they would have still made money off of it. But for them to make I think it was $60 for the consultation. For them to make 60 off the consultation and then make another 40 off the prescription, $100 wasn't enough for my dog to be healthy. They needed 500 before they would be willing to actually help my dog. So that was annoying. For me, the word is greed. For me, it was that they were very greedy about it. So anyways, the dog is cool. I only check my Instagram DMs every week. I'm usually looking for Ninja Review. But anyways, I put a video of my dog losing his balance because I caught it with my security camera. I wrote the caption, has anyone ever seen this before? Do you think it could be an ear infection? Do you think it's a neurological thing? You know, it's obviously vertigo. Who can help? And I got more than one people wishing my dog would die. And I wanted to talk a little bit about that. And I think it comes down to the fragility of people. I put this video of my dog on my personal skateboarding account. So people came from my Steve Hates Skating account to wish that my dog died, which I'm already kind of in a bad mood about it. But it made me really think about those people. It's crazy to me. I didn't even directly insult anyone. I haven't even spoken to these people. I'm not even acknowledging them as a person. I simply watched a skateboarding video and located where a professional skater's foot was. I watched a skate video and said, oh, your foot is on the ground. And that made some random kid out there so mad that they tracked down my private account and waited for something bad to happen to me, only so that they could say, I hope your dog dies from rat poisoning. And I think that's so odd. And someone in the chat earlier said, oh, it just goes to show like those people are sad and they're losers and they're lonely. It doesn't. It shows how fragile they are. Because I didn't even, what happens if someone bumps into you at the store? You're going to absolutely crumble. I wasn't even talking to you. I simply am watching skateboarding in my own lane on my own channel. The channel is called Steve Hates Skating. You already know what's going to be on the channel, and you still chose to watch it, and then chose to be offended, and then chose to seek out my account, and then chose to wait for something to happen, and then chose to write some bullshit like that. And it doesn't hurt my feelings, bro. It's just little words on a paper. You know, you don't have any control. You guys can't actually harm me with your little pretend messages. But what happens now? What happens if you're that fragile? I'm not even talking to you, and you already made it into some personal vendetta. What happens when you get a ticket driving your car? Those guys are gonna blow their own fucking brains out. They're not like. What happens when something actually stressful happens to you? You know what I mean? Like, what happens when I don't know, your toilet overflows? These guys are gonna fucking burst into tears, faint. If you think that me calling out a pro skater is like directly stressful to you, bro, I have bad news about the rest of your life. I have really bad news about what happens when you can't pay rent one day, or you're low on money, or you get fired from your job. I have really bad news for how hard life is really going to be on you. If my internet post about skateboarding makes you that upset, I have really bad news. It's going to be the next 10 years is going to be really rough for you guys. And I do hope it works out. Anyways, my dog is fine despite everyone's, well, not everyone's, despite that small group of people's wishes. Also, one more thing, and I think this kind of is more like an autistic thing. When I write, hey, does anyone know what's wrong with my dog? It looks like vertigo. It doesn't mean, hey, I was asking for a bunch of jokes. Okay, clearly I'm really worried about my dog. I wanted to see if anyone out there is a vet, knows a vet. I got a couple of really nice answers. One guy said, hey, my girlfriend is a vet tech. When she gets home, I'll have her write you a message. Very nice, very helpful. I had a couple of messages saying, oh, I think that's vertigo. My dog had it. It could be an ear infection. My dog had an ear infection. A lot of helpful ones. A lot of people said, oh, I bet he was scared of his own fart, LOL. No, my dog is having a really rough time right now. He was scared of his own fart. Was I supposed to giggle at that? Oh, it looks like you have ghosts, LOL. Must be ghosts in your house pushing your dog around, LOL. No, there's not ghosts around. It's some type of inner ear problem that can really badly affect him, or it could be neurological. You know, I promise it was not helpful at all for anyone to write LOL ghosts. And I guess for anyone that doesn't have that social awareness, if someone is worried about the health of their dog, they will never laugh at your joke, okay? And this is coming from a guy that will make like 9/11 jokes. You know, I do make like racist jokes all the time, but I'm never gonna go into someone's profile and be like, oh, like my mom died today, dude, the service is on Wednesday, and like, oh, did my giant dick kill her? LOL. Just so you guys know, no one's gonna laugh at that. Like maybe a 5-year-old would, but one day when your dog is really in pain and you're looking for help, I assure you, and it's not gonna make me mad. I mean, it kind of makes me annoyed that I had to read that message and it wasted time. I had to waste time to get to a helpful message. I mean, that's the most annoying part. I'm not like actually mad at those people. I don't remember any of their names, but I'm annoyed that I had to shift through that much bullshit to find actual helpful advice. So just to give you guys a little bit of situational awareness, no one laughs, no one's hyped, and also not everyone's like me. I think a lot of people would have just blocked or unfollowed you or whatever. I mean, not everyone's like me. I simply am just looking for the answer. And I know that a lot of you guys, I don't know what caused it, but I know that there's a lot of people that don't understand their surroundings these days, especially in fucking teenagers. I don't know how to explain it, but whatever. You know, I see that a lot over the years. I think that when me and my friends were 16 and 17, we weren't writing troll internet comments. We were out skating, but I see it's different now. And maybe Mark's right. Maybe it's too much cell phone makes everyone just not really understand how to interact. To piggyback that topic, there was a guy threatening me, and I've talked about this. This is a repeat topic. We've done this topic on this podcast 5 different times, but it happened again. I just wanted to re-explain it to you guys. Some random guy starts sending me threats. He's gonna beat me up on Instagram. And you look at the guy. It's a guy that probably can't even slice butter without a sharp enough knife. The guy's built like an absolute pussy. I kind of feel like a bitch if I end up clicking your name and looking at your actual profile picture, because I'm gonna be honest, I did do that. The guy really like kept trying to say he's gonna catch me and find me and beat me up. So I was like, okay, let's see if he can. You know, just I'm a guy. You know, I'm a human. Let's see if he can. He's built like Harry Potter with AIDS. There's no fucking way that he could ever beat me up. So anyways, guy starts telling me, he's like, yeah, if you ever came to my skate park, oh, I'd beat the shit out of you. And I'm like, well, you probably live hundreds and hundreds of miles away. I never plan on going to your shitty skate park. I didn't ever care about your skate park. I still don't know who you are. You would never be on my radar. And he's like, yeah, well, just so you know, man, watch out. Now I know you're afraid of me. That's why you won't come to my skate park. And I'm like, dude, you didn't even say where it was. I don't know where you are. You're probably in Australia. Okay? And my second point was, no tough people act like that. No one in the world who's ever actually punched someone with their fist would ever write in an Instagram comment, if you ever came to my skate park, I'll beat you. No one has ever written that. It's automatically telling on yourself, right? Like if my dog poops in the house and I come home and I look at the dog and he goes, and his ears go back, I immediately know, oh, you just told on yourself. You must have done something wrong. He can't hide the truth. You know, he's a dog. He can't hide the truth. He knows he did something he wasn't supposed to do, and you know, we go from there. When you're online and you're an internet and you write an internet message about, when I see you, I'm gonna punch you. You already told on yourself. You've never punched anyone. It's never been done, because people that live their life punching and fighting in the real world face to face, they don't have time to write little messages about it. So you've already told on yourself. Anyways, the guy's like, well, I live in Arizona and my skate park, it just had $2 million added to it, and a lot of people are going to be skating it. So if you ever end up skating it, just know you're going to get beat up. And I told all my friends about this. My first thought is, how do you not feel lame? How? You think this is what tough looks like? This is what a girl, like this, it feels like a girl's typing it. I think if you asked a girl to pretend she was a boy and act, and what would you type if you were a boy and you wanted to act tough? That's probably what would happen, because they don't actually know how like, you know, how to be a man. You know what I mean? So my whole thought is, how do you not feel lame like doing this? And also, if you really did tell your friends about me, how did they not fucking slap you and say, what's wrong with you? If I went to you guys know my friends, right? Nick, T, Tex, Aaron, the regulars that come on stream and shit. If I went up to them and I was like, hey, you guys hang out at Bunker Skate Park? If you ever see this internet guy, yeah, his name is Steve Hates Skating. If you ever see him, we gotta beat him up. Why? Well, because Jamie Foy dragged his heel on a heel flip, and Steve mentioned it. He mentioned it. Oh, so we're supposed to beat him up? Yeah, he not only did he mention it, he made an Instagram video where a pro skater that none of us have ever met dragged his heel on the ground, and Steve mentioned it out loud. So I need all you guys to, when he and he'll never show up, but if he does, we have to fight him. I'll say, bitch, you're not even my friend anymore, you big lame. You're it's gonna spread. Your pussyism is gonna spread on us. You get too close to a kid like that, the pussy will spread. You gotta wash your hands talking to people like that. Because then if they start talking you into acting like that, now there's 2 pussies, and there's 4 pussies, and there's 8 pussies. Next thing you know, you're at a pirate bar drinking fucking pineapple rum with your pinky up and suspenders, smoking a Corella DeVille cigarette. Okay. Never mind. I guess my point was, I couldn't get through to this kid. Okay, and I wasn't being exactly rude. I simply was saying, I was like, dude, this is not how tough people act. No one's afraid of you. You're as intimidating as like warm butter. No one would ever be. I told him this. I was like, I don't think anyone in your life has ever been intimidated of you. If this is what you think tough would be, no one has ever in the history of your life ever been like, oh, I hope he doesn't punch me, because they know you won't. And he's like, yeah, whatever, man. Just show up to the park and see what happens. And I said, that sounds lame too. And I try to make metaphors easy for the slower people to understand. I simply wrote, I said, here, I'll make it easy for you. Don't ever go to Russia and skate the 3rd largest skate park in Moscow, because right next to that skate park is a gas station. If you ever go to that gas station in Moscow, Russia, you better watch out, because my friend will beat your ass. And then I wrote, period, and I wrote, see, doesn't that sound lame? Maybe I can make an example obvious enough. Like, you didn't have any plans to ever go to Russia. No one wanted to go to your shitty fucking skate park, not because they're afraid of you, but because no one gave a fuck anyways. I have a great time where I live. I have my skate park. I upload a video every week. Have you ever seen me upload a video saying, man, I wish I could go to this one skate park that has nothing interesting about it, far away from me. It was never ever gonna cross my path. I just think there's a disconnect between people. I think there's a bit of a disconnect between people, and I think there's planes of communication. I'm not saying I'm like on the high plane, but I think the situation is that kid will never understand. I don't think there's anything I could say to that kid okay, maybe I'm reading too far into it, but I think, okay, this is maybe this is reading too far into it. I think if that kid ever got in a fight, like at the bus stop, and then he got to experience like what a fight is, or just maybe not even a fight, maybe just something outside of his comfort zone. If that kid had ever been outside of his comfort zone, he would probably be able to connect the dots between like the internet threats not being a real thing. Also, I already know how sensitive you are. I ruffled your feathers with an Instagram video about skating. Okay, I already know how easy it is to fucking to tip you over. It's beep. All right, moving on. I got an electric toothbrush. It's a game changer. All right, next topic. I'm kidding. I got an electric toothbrush the other day, and bro, couple of things. Kind of gross, a little bit gross. That fucker, you get to brush your teeth in like half as much time. Okay. Also, dude, it's 2025. Like, who has time to just do manual labor in your own mouth when you could let a battery and a motor do the brushing for you? And I was a little bit skeptical at first. Brushes my teeth in half the amount of time. Also, first time did it, bloodbath. Absolute bloodbath. Donald Trump fucking bloodbath at the White House in my mouth. It was what happened. It was an insurrection in my mouth. And I don't know why that makes me feel like I did a better job, because I brush my teeth really roughly. I'm the only person that I know who's broken two toothbrushes, probably more, because when I'm in a hurry, if I need to rush out the house, I try to brush my teeth extra fast. So I'm brushing, and then the toothbrush snaps in my mouth. And I always have extra toothbrushes because I have, friends always stay on the couch. I always have a ton of extra toothbrushes. Also, if you guys are ever staying on my couch, I have plenty of toothbrushes. I end up snapping the toothbrushes. The motorized toothbrush, game changer. I don't know why that deserved to be a topic, but it is. Would you guys like to win a free Ninja Lifestyle sticker pack sent directly to your house if you live in America? All you have to do is answer this question correctly. The question is, which country has the world's most pirate-infested waters? Which country has the world's most pirate-infested waters? I tried to look up, where do most pirates live? Turns out most pirates don't actually live in Somalia. Or if they do, I couldn't find that for a fact. Okay, I guess according to the internet, Somalia is not that big of a place. And I have to trust the internet, because if I try to look at a globe, I would have no fucking idea. I would never find it on a globe. Okay, well, according to the Maritime Executive, Indonesia's 17,000 islands and their surrounding waters now take the title as the world's most heavily pirated waters. Also, by the way, guys, if you're ever wondering why Day gets the answer right every single week, it's because cheating is allowed. All you guys have to do is Google the answer, and you can also have a chance to win a free Ninja Lifestyle sticker pack. Then again, that article was from 2013, but I also have an article from 2018 that also says Indonesia. Also, if you guys ever actually want to win a sticker pack, you can do what Day does and cheat every single weekend. Day, you are the winner. Send me a DM after the podcast and claim your prize. Everyone else, it's time to learn something. Something happened last night that may or may not threaten my Instagram account. I did a bit with Jason Park. Okay, I blame Jason. Jason did a stream where he printed out a picture of me and wore it on his stream and then did an impression of me. And then I printed out a picture of him and did an impression of him. And then we both printed out a picture of each other and did impressions of each other while we were both streaming. And although we couldn't hear each other talking to each other in real time, there was a huge lag between us. The things that we started saying to each other sounded like we were talking to each other. And I made a highlight video of that on Instagram, and it is mildly racist, but it's also really, really funny. And if I get kicked off Instagram for that, listen, it was totally worth it. And also, Jason crossed the line. First off, me wearing a mask and pretending to be Asian, it's a bit of a line crosser. Jason put on a mask of me. First thing he did was call me a racist alcoholic. Which is really like a mean thing to say, but it's so fucking funny, dude. It's so funny. I must have watched that video like 50 times, man. It was really great. So if you guys haven't seen that, check out my Instagram, Black Ninja LV. I don't want to post it on YouTube because YouTube actually still pays me a little bit of money. So I did not want to post it on there and risk my YouTube. But I guess I just wanted to make this a Jason Park appreciation topic. I appreciate my friends where we can kind of like take it too far, but I know that we're always going to be friends. And that's kind of how it gets here in my kitchen when we're playing dominoes. If I'm playing dominoes with 4 guys in my kitchen, we're screaming at each other, the most awful, evil shit you could think, talking about each other's girlfriends and the most evil racist jokes, bringing up old shit, just awful, like shit that's totally off limits. And then after the game is done, we cheers our beer and we fucking sit down and just go on with our lives. And I'll see you guys next week. I appreciate that existing because for a lot of people that's really foreign. And there's been many times where there'll be a new person hanging out in our group that's not usually there, and they'll be really tense because I'll be yelling at somebody about, "I'll beat your fucking ass," or motherfucker, like, bullshit, you can't fucking swim for shit, dumb bitch. And we'll be yelling at each other. And there's always one guy that's like, "Hey, whoa, you guys need to chill, man. Like, I don't know, you guys need to chill." And I'm like, dude, okay, relax. We're not actually mad. No one's actually mad at each other. No big deal. I appreciate that I have that in my life. So that was more of a what am I thankful for kind of topic. Final topic of the day. I wanted to give you guys a recap. Last week, I left you guys on a cliffhanger. I said, after this podcast, I'm going to go into my friend's office and I'm going to try and pick the lock with my lock picking kit. Turns out this office is like fucking a bank vault. Okay, you have to use a card to get in. Has cameras everywhere. You need a special card. You get in there. It's like a custom keyway in every door. Each door is 200 fucking pounds. The locks all have security pins inside of them. The doors have there's no crack in between the carpet and the door. The walls have insulation around them, rubberized insulation. So you can't fit anything in between the door. If you were thinking maybe you could fit a paper or a credit card in between the door, you can't because it's indented into the door. There's almost no clearance on the ground. Bro, they locked this shit up. You would think that there was millions of dollars in this building. So we couldn't get in there by raking the lock, and I tried to single pin pick it, but every fucking one had a security pin. And the keyway was weird. And the lock, it's not facing up and down, it's facing sideways. So how you would usually pick a lock, I have to do it on an axis like this. So I'm sitting there fucking like this, trying to get this fucker to go. Could not even get close. I couldn't set a 6-pin lock, by the way. I couldn't set 2 fucking pins. There was no way I was getting into that place. So we have a new idea. I'm going to try to shove some paracord under the door and a bent wire, because the way the lock is, if we can get the door handle on that side to turn down, we can get in. So I'm going to use bent wire and also paracord and some tape. We're going to try and get it in that way. That is the plan for today. If we cannot get it after that, then I guess the office will just have to call a locksmith, which is not that big of a deal. But you know what? I'm glad they did not call the locksmith, because now we have a chance at redemption, which leaves us on another cliffhanger. What's going to happen after the podcast? Well, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to try to solve some crimes. Actually, I'm more so committing a crime than solving a crime. Also, when we pulled up, Stem's wife, her boss was outside, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm going to try and break into my old office." And the boss was like, "All right, good luck." I was like, "Okay, cool. Don't have to worry about, like police being called." Like everyone important in this building actually knows. But yeah, on the way out, they do like, it's a real estate building. So they do like $1 million deals on a daily basis. So it kind of makes sense why the building would be that secure. So I guess the moral of the story is I can't pick locks as good as I thought I could, but moral number 2 is I'm not giving up that easy. We're going in for round 2. And also Nick's going to be with me. He might have also thought of a couple of techniques that we might try to use. So it's going to be fun. And that's what I'm going to be doing probably right after this podcast. By the way, that's all I have for the podcast. I will play a little bit of video games. I will play some video games after the stream. But as far as our actual podcast, that is all I have to talk about today. Can I get a oh hell yeah from those of you who made it this far? We only had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 topics. We made it the whole 45 minutes. I'm always trying to get this podcast to go about 45 minutes, and we did it today with minimal topics 2 days in a row. I'm the best at freestyling these. Some people out there, they do podcasts, they have whole entire notes and scripts. Not me. Also, somebody needs to hire me to do announcing for these skateboarding competitions because they are lacking in that department, in my opinion. If you missed the first half of the podcast, don't worry, the repeat of the podcast comes out on Sunday. It comes out early in the morning on Sunday on Podbean, on YouTube, on Spotify, podcast app, iTunes, everywhere they have podcasts, you can find it there. Shout out to Late Bloomer, Ron Stop It, RVig, Kickflip, Nose Blunt, Generation L, Day Day, Low Key, Support the Farts, D-Trick. I appreciate you guys for hanging out. I will see you guys next week. I hope everyone has a great weekend. Follow me on Twitch. Send me some money. We got no donations today. Extra big shout out to Get Booped this week and to Drumbocus. I appreciate the generosity. If you can't send money, that's fine. Tell a friend about the podcast. Have a great weekend. As I always say, don't drink too much and don't drink too little. Jason Park, and I really write this podcast.